Hey, my friends. I hope you're doing well and fabulous and amazing today. I just got done with a client day and I'm doing my video later in the morning. So I'm excited to be here and I hope you're excited to be here too. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing and sharing. I appreciate you all so much. I'm almost to 300 subscribers. So help me get to 300 if you want to. I've got like 4 left and then I'm there. So I'm slowly creeping up there. So anyway, I wanted to talk about how I learned to stop struggling and how I learned to manifest properly and from more like a power place, like a powerful place versus a desperate place, which I used to try to manifest from, was desperateness and from force and trying to make things happen. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to kind of break free from that and kind of what I learned over the years to get myself away from that as well. And it has been a practice. It has been a journey to get there. So don't be hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. I look at this like it's a skill we need to develop. Even though we're doing it naturally all day long, to do it deliberately, it's a skill. Because we're almost, forgetting the human side of us and remembering that we're just this amazing soul in a body and amazing energy. And so, I learned over the years to go beyond myself, go beyond my beliefs, go beyond my thoughts. This is kind of a Joe Dispenza type of teaching where he would tell you to, go beyond yourself. Forget who you are, forget your name, forget your body, forget everything about yourself, and just kind of go into the space. If you've ever heard his meditations, so many people say they're so funny. I think they're funny too, his robotic voice that he does. And he does that because it helps to slow your mind down, but still kind of keeps you alert to what he's saying. So he's kind of directing you, but as you're going along. But yeah, go ahead and try one of those out and you'll see what I'm saying, because he's always like, in the space, and he's just really funny. So have fun with that if you don't know who he is, and check him out. I do one of his meditations every morning. I do the changing boxes short version. I have the long version too, where it's like a walking meditation, but it's like an hour long. So every morning I just take I do the 21-minute one, the short version. So, and it just works wonders. I don't know what it is. I just look forward to it. I do it about 30 minutes after I get up. I do that. But throughout the years, I really struggled with so many things, with anxiety and with wanting a specific person. Back in the day, that was a huge part of my journey, was with the specific person, the SP as they call it. So in future videos, I may get into more SP stuff, but this all applies to everything. I mean, this is really, you have to think about, like, you're either the victim of your life or you're the victor of your life. You're the victim or the creator, and you get to decide which one you are. You're always the creator, but we don't believe that always. We think we're a victim. We think that our life is happening to us when it's really happening through us. So I had a session today. I had a few synchronicities that happened today. It was really interesting. There's a movie called War Room. I don't know if you guys have heard of this before. It's about prayer, and it ends up, it starts out with a couple that's married and they're having, marital issues, and just kind of, the lady gets advice from this older lady, and it's just about prayer. And it just goes back to love and, believing that you're love and the power of prayer and all of that. And so over the years, I watched that movie probably 8 years ago, I would say. And today I was on my way out the door, and I was out driving around and on my way to see a client, and somebody's license plate said War Room on it. And I took a picture of it real quick. And we had literally talked about that last week, that movie. And so for me to see that on a license plate was just an awesome synchronicity. And then it took me back to remembering that movie. And so I put it in my schedule for tomorrow. I was like, War Room, let's watch this. Let's watch this again and remember the story. And so, but over the years after I saw that movie, I created my own little war room. and kind of a prayer closet type of thing. And I'd just go in that closet and I would pray. I would, this was around the time I learned about law of attraction. I'd learned about law of attraction way, a long time ago, but I didn't start practicing it until probably like 2014, 15, 16. And then in like 17, 18, I was really getting into it. And that's when I would do my prayer and my writing, and I would just be in this closet. And I went to this awesome little flea market store that we have in a city over from where I live. And they've got all these booths. And there was this lady that had these handmade items from vintage items. She would take vintage items and make new items out of them. It was really cool. And one of them was this little thing that you can hang on your wall, and it said War Room on it. It was right around the time that movie came out. And so I bought that, and it's been hanging in my closet, all the different closets I've lived, all the different places I've lived. It always hangs in my closet on my mirror that's in there. And so anyway, seeing that license plate today was really a cool synchronicity. And then I told my client, I said, how about you and your husband watch this tonight? I think you guys need to watch it. I just feel like I need to tell you to watch it. And then I got to have a conversation with the husband that I had not been able to talk to for as long as we talked, probably in years. And then we ended up talking about, about Jesus and about love and all these things. It led into this awesome conversation. And so I felt compelled to talk about this today. I don't really know why. I feel like somebody might need to hear it maybe. But one of the things that I went back to was love. And also on the way to another place that I was going, I just happened to pass my grandmother's old church. She's since passed away a few years ago. And I had not driven past this church in years. And we used to go there all the time during my childhood. And on the sign outside, it said, take time to love. And so today was just a theme of love, seeing War Room and seeing that sign, and it was a beautiful day out, even though it's like, 125 degrees outside. It's horrible. It's not really 125, but it feels like it. It feels like a sauna. But it was just, it was such a cool experience to just see these synchronicities and get me back to love. And I told my client's husband, I said, if you, instead of looking at things through the glasses that you're looking at them through, pick up another pair of glasses, put those glasses on, and see your world differently. And it goes back to changing the self-concept. How do you feel about yourself? What do you think on a daily basis? What are you dominantly thinking about yourself? And what are you dominantly thinking about other people? And so if you're walking into a house that's chaotic and you're not looking forward to it, and you don't know what's going to happen when you open the door, you've been at work all day and you're exhausted, and you're not looking forward to coming home because there's just chaos. Try something different where before you go into the house, appreciate how beautiful the home is. Just look at it for a second before you walk in. Appreciate the fact that you have a house, or you have an apartment, or you have some type of home to go home to. You have a family to go home to, or you have your cat to go home to, or you have your dog to go home to, or you got a crazy roommate to go home to. Whatever your situation is, before you step in that door, say that I'm bringing love into this home, and then declare that you are love. I am love. I am love. That's a big thing in the Bible. I am. Whatever you say you are, you are. And I had to remind this man that we brought Jesus into this conversation, which normally doesn't happen in a lot of sessions, but it was there. And I just said, be the light. Jesus was the light. He got made fun of, just like we do as humans, when we start to have new ideas that other people may not agree with, and we feel very lonely because we have those ideas. And we might shut down and not speak because we're afraid of what somebody might say. I was like, Jesus remained the light. So you can't just say, I am the light, and then the next second, forget your power. No. You stay steadfast in that. You stay convicted in the fact that you are the light. You are the I am. That is who you are. You are powerful, and love is powerful. You are love. So those are great affirmations to say. I am love. I am the light. I am light. And if we are light, then we have to shine our light. That's all we have to do. That's our only job. If you make your only thing in your world, you're the most like the thing that you discipline yourself the most with, because we've got all these goals and we've got all these things that we want to do, and if you make the number one thing be that you are love, like you are light and love, and make the goal that you feel good, feel some relief every second of your day. That's your number one goal, is to this is my goal, to feel good. This is it. This is my only job. This is all I've got to do. Practice that and watch what happens, because you'll see it reflected back in your world. You will see it in some way. You're going to start seeing some signs and synchronicities, just like I did today. It's so strange. And when I saw War Room on the license plate, it almost made me cry, because it hit me in a way that I wasn't expecting. And that's my point. It's like, you'll see some things in your world that just hit you. They hit your heart if you're open to them and you're looking around. When you're out in the world, notice how you're feeling while you're in the world. Don't notice the people cutting you off in traffic. Don't notice the traffic. Notice how you're feeling while you're driving, while you're living. You're literally living while you're driving. You're living. That's your life. That's why we wanted to be here, to experience these things. And we focus so much on what is not there that we want, or what's there, and we talk crap about it and we complain about it. And if you're complaining, you're literally pushing away all the goodness from you, because you're being the complainer. You're being that energy. If you're gossiping, if you're judging others, you're judging yourself. We're all one energy. We're all one. We're all related in some way. And so if you're judging another, you're actually judging yourself. And you'll find that when you start to feel better about you, you won't have any time to gossip or judge or complain. You won't have any time for it. It'll almost feel like it makes you sick. For me, it's like so boring to me. I'm like, I cannot handle gossip. I just can't handle that stuff anymore. I just can't. And so if you practice telling yourself that you are love and you are light, and that you're those things 100% of the time, not just 80% of the time, or even 90% of the time. 100% of the time, that's who you are. You declare it, you claim it, and you be it. That's your new identity. That's your 2.0 that we've been talking about every day, that I'm trying to pump into your mind. We've got these two lives, and we're trying to kill the old self, the old man, so the new man, the new self rises. And you identify with that versus the old. You get beyond your old thoughts, beyond your old beliefs, beyond your old self. And that's where healing happens. That's where restoration of relationships happen. That's where meeting the person of your dreams happens. It just happens because you can't attract to yourself what you're not being. That's why you have to be it before you get it. And then you just get it, and it just happens so naturally that you can't even imagine how you didn't feel that great even before that. Like, it just adds to your happiness exponentially every time. And if you can just, it's like practicing happiness. Every time you start to feel happy, be like, oh, I'm feeling happy. This is awesome. How can I create more happiness in my life? How can I create love in my life? How can I create light? And you just start being it. You just decide, make that decision. Like, if you need to quit drinking, you just say, you know what? I'm going to quit drinking because this is not good for me anymore. It is as simple as that to change. If you change your identity, of course, there's lots of, if you're an alcoholic and you're drinking a lot every day, I mean, that's a whole other video, but there's detox, doing it safely, all of that. We'll get into that some other time. But just in general, if you want to stop drinking, you just decide that you love yourself now and you're not going to do the things that perpetuate the old you. You want to take on those thoughts and beliefs and behaviors that the new you would take on. And so before you walk into your house, or before you walk into work, or before you have a conversation with someone that might be a hard one, just say, I am love, and I bring only love into this home, or this workplace, or this conversation, or this table I'm about to sit at with this person. I bring only love and light to this situation. And when you operate from that energy, nothing can stop you. It's like everything is attracted to you at that point. And so I just felt compelled to talk about that today. A little bit off from what we normally talk about, but kind of fits in. I recommend watching War Room. I think I'm going to watch it tomorrow. If anybody else wants to watch it, I'll be watching it tomorrow. And I also bought the workbook. There's a little workbook I didn't know about. It was like $8.50, I think, $8.49 or something on Amazon. It's a little workbook, and so that's gonna arrive on Saturday. So I'm gonna kind of look at that, and I don't know, just it's like the more you just go back to love and appreciation. When you walk in your house, just instead of noticing chaos, if it's normally chaotic, or if you're lonely and you're going home to an empty home, look around and say, golly, this is my home. This is amazing. Wow, I appreciate all these walls and this roof and my books and my, electricity and just everything that you have. Start appreciating it, because what you appreciate appreciates. So start doing that with yourself too. You have to start appreciating yourself. You get to start appreciating yourself. You get to do that. And there's nothing that feels better than that. The more gratitude, thankfulness, appreciation, love, light, you can't go wrong with those energies. You can't go wrong with those. And you've got to notice every time you're complaining, gossiping, judging, justifying, that's a big one. This is why I'm this way, and this is this, and that. It's all valid. I totally get it. I've been there. I've done it. And I made myself sick. It's just too much. You kind of get tired of yourself. You get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You almost annoy yourself. And when you're annoying yourself, something's got to change. So I just started really going back to the simplicity of life. Something about different scriptures and over the years. And of course, Esther Hicks, watching videos of hers, that got me through a lot of the time. And I came across so many YouTubers that were awesome throughout the years. But learning about law of assumption, law of attraction, more about the Bible, and how to apply it to daily life, I think that's really necessary for us to learn, because there's so much realness in it that makes sense. And also, the more authentic you are, the more you that you are, the more you're going to attract to you, that matches who you're being. So, who are you being? You've got to be real honest with yourself. Who am I actually being? Because I had to do that. I had to say, I am noticing, this person in front of me, I'm remembering the past hurts. So how can this person show me anything different than that? If I'm noticing the past, I'm regurgitating the past. It's like this person is trying to change, but I'm bringing up the past. How does that help that person? How does that help them? In quantum physics, they talk about the observer effect, like how you observe something changes it. They've proven that and this is that science thing that I tell you not to really worry about, but to me, it's really cool. So it's one of those things that just research it if you want to. But they had different scientists look at different, atoms underneath a microscope, and they would change based on the expectations or the perception of the person. And so I thought, well, if we're made of atoms, then if we look at a person as good or bad, they're going to show up as that. That's how powerful our perception is. We can actually change people. The version of them will show up differently as our energy changes, as our beliefs change. And I have done this many times, practiced it, tried it. It works. It is utterly amazing how something can change overnight. Something can even change in a few hours. Something can literally probably change, in a few seconds if we really believed it could. But I've seen changes in people. I've seen changes in money. I mean, overnight, you guys. It's so, everything that you're thinking is just projecting out like a mirror. It really is. You look at your reality as a mirror and use it. Instead of getting mad at the mirror and getting mad at yourself, you don't need to get mad. It's just like, be curious about it. What is this trying to show me about me? And take that information and utilize it. Use it for something. It's a skill to develop. All this manifesting it's a skill because you're changing your belief system. It's not just about getting the stuff that you want. It's like, let's feel good now and then enjoy this whole trip, this whole experience to get to what we want. Let's have fun along the way, because once you get something, then you've got it. And it's like, whoa, this is awesome. And then the newness wears off. And then it's like, okay, what else do I want? And it's the same thing. So that's my number one thing I started practicing was I want to feel good in every moment. I don't want to look back and be like, oh my God, that was so hard. And now I'm finally here. No, I don't want to do that. I want to notice my growth along the way, even when it hurts, even when it was painful. But yet you define it as painful, or you define it as hard, or you define it that it hurt, when you can define it a different way. Like, wow, that really helped me grow. That I say that's a lot. I say that a lot. Like, oh, that was a lot. And so I have to watch what I say. There's heaviness in that. Like, that's a lot. Like, it's really heavy. Watch what you're saying, because it will make you feel a certain way. And that means if we're saying things that make us feel bad, that means we can just as easily say things that make us feel good and make us feel better. So just kind of practice that. Let me see. Oh, yes. And train yourself away from worry and into fun and joy. That's what I'll leave you with. Train yourself out of worry into fun and joy. And how you do that is you first ask yourself, how am I feeling? What am I thinking on a daily basis? What do I believe about myself? What do I believe about others? Why am I worrying so much? What am I afraid is going to happen if I stop worrying? That's a question to really ask yourself. What am I afraid is going to happen if I actually stop worrying? What would happen? Oh my gosh, I'd feel better. Because worrying is something the brain does to try to fix something in the future that it has no tools to fix. How are we going to do that if we don't have the tools? We have the tools right now to fix right now. We don't have the tools for the future, technically. We're not there yet. We're only in now. And so if you focus only on now, there's no need to worry, because in this moment you have everything you need and you're safe. You're safe within yourself. And so worrying is what the brain does to try to feel like it's doing something instead of just letting go, which that's what we really need to be doing, is letting go. They say, let go and let God. It's like, let go, let universe, source, whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe in. I'm not going to push any beliefs on anyone, whatever you want to call that. Let go and let something else work behind the scenes for you, because it's always working. It's just your energy. It's all swirling around and ready to plop something in your life or someone or an event or an opportunity. All potentials are out there and they all exist. So let go of your worries. Surrender. Just start to practice. It's a skill to practice letting go. It's a skill. I mean, I can't tell you how many nights I would go home after seeing clients, and because when my first 5 years of seeing clients, I was in their homes, and then COVID hit. So I actually started my private practice right when COVID had just started, like right before it started. So and then I still saw a couple, like a few people in their homes, but not a lot. So the first 5 years were really in the community, it was a little cray cray a lot of the time. It was hard work, but I loved it. And then COVID came and it was a lot of telehealth, and I'm still mostly telehealth now, but I still see one family in the community, and it's so, I can't tell you how many nights I would go home just like sad, because sometimes I was going home to a lonely home, and it didn't feel good. And that was after my divorce. And I had to really learn how to make myself feel good, because it's not something that comes easily until you practice it. And then it comes very easily, because then you're like, I am not feeling that way anymore. I'm not that one anymore. That's not who I am. So yeah, that's how I stopped struggling. It was just, I let go, and I knew, I think the number one thing that really helped me was I recognized my power. I really learned that it's all me doing this, and that I have the power to change my mood, my state, any moment I choose, and also to let go of what other people think. That's the biggest thing. Because as soon as I would say something that might be, uplifting and high energy, if you've got a person in front of you that's not really on that wavelength that day, they'll say something or look at you funny or whatever. And then you have the choice in that moment to either stay being the light or letting them dim your light. And I would let people dim. I would allow that a lot of times throughout the years. And then when I decided to not ever do that again and just be myself, just be fully myself, which I'm doing on camera. This is me. I'm just talking to you like a friend. This is how I talk to my friend. This is how I talk to my clients. This is how I talk to my friends. This is just me. When I finally decided that it was okay to be me, then everything shifted. And so I really don't have those downs anymore. And when I do, it's like very short. And it just reminds me, oh yeah, I can choose what to think in this moment. I don't have to stay here anymore like I used to. I don't have to stay here. There's nothing I need outside of myself. I don't need to do anything. I don't need to watch another video. I've watched thousands of them over the years. I don't need to read another book technically. I don't need to do any of these things I was doing for years. I've got all the information I need. It's all within myself. It's just up to me to have fun now. I don't need to research anymore. I get to have fun. And that's where I want you guys to get if you're interested. So each day, just keep watching these videos. If they speak to you, please like, share, and subscribe. Share this with somebody who might need it. Check out War Room tomorrow. I will be watching it. Just rent it if you want off Amazon. I think it's like, I don't know, like $4. I don't know. It might be more. I don't know. But yeah, maybe we'll talk about it someday in a live or something. I don't know. I love that movie, and I feel compelled to talk about it today. So thank you for listening. So I hope you all take care. I'll be back tomorrow. This was video 60. I'm Samantha. I didn't introduce myself for any of those, anybody who's new here. I'm Samantha, and I'm a therapist, and I am doing this channel to hopefully help a lot more people than I'm helping now, and to also get over my fear of public speaking and social anxiety. And this is video 60 of 365 because I decided to do it for a whole year. So yeah, another milestone, 60 videos in a row, 60 days. So thank you for being here so much. I appreciate all of your comments and everything. So I look forward to being here tomorrow. So I'll see you later. Bye.